We knew, obviously, with Blue Ice, we wanted it to be lightweight. We wanted it to live in the category with other harnesses, but blow them out of the water, weight-wise. This is the Cuesta harness. We have the men's version that's available starting this fall, and then we have the women's version of the Cuesta, which is coming out in the spring. We have some of the lightest weight harnesses for alpine on the market, and the thing missing from the line was a true rock climbing harness. A couple of things that were really important to us in designing this harness were, number one, having it be lightweight, number two, comfort, and number three, performance. So we wanted to take fixed leg loop, 3-season harness, and really try to strip it down weight-wise. And we feel like we really struck a great balance with this particular harness. The size medium weighs in at 285 grams. We have the Infinity Belay Loop, speed buckle, molded, softer gear loop. And then in the back, we have the drop seat buckle, which is a nice feature. Be able to drop it out. Another nice feature with this, so we continued this through the rest of our harness line, is if your elastic gets kind of stretched out and worn, it's super easy to replace. On the leg loops, one of my favorite features on this harness is actually kind of how the leg loop is constructed with the elastic. So the elastic actually starts really deep within the harness, all the way back here, and it's brought through the leg, and then it's got this little piece of sheath that covers it. So you have a lot of protection of that material. So again, if you're shoved into an off width, you're not going to just completely destroy the webbing and the elastic. And it also gives you a lot more room in terms of adjustability wise than some of the other harnesses out there. So that's quite honestly one of my favorite features of this harness, is it offers the protection and durability over the materials while still giving you a lot of room to accommodate for a comfortable fit. The Cuesta is packaged in this sweet little blue bag. Packs down to about 3/4 the size, if not half, of competitor harnesses. So very small, it's not going to take up too much room in your pack. You can recycle the cardboard header card. So the price on the Cuesta is $79.95. So with the men's and women's, first you'll notice they are very similar. They have the same body color. The color touches are a little bit different. They're a kind of a khaki color, whereas the women's are cantaloupe. The women's is fully graded to fit a woman's body more comfortably, meaning the rise and then the leg and waist ratios are different than how the men's fit. I can attest that I've hung in both of them for long periods of time, and the women's is definitely more comfortable for me. Hanging in the men's harness, you could really feel the waist kind of dig into your lower back, whereas with the women's rise and how it sat just above the hips and the right shape of the waist, it didn't dig in anywhere, and it just distributed weight through my body a little more comfortably. Leg loop wise, you know, I am also a skier, so I think one of the most frustrating things as a woman with a more athletic build and really strong legs is I have a hard time finding harnesses that are comfortable. It's nice to be a part of the development team that made a harness for ladies like me to accommodate thunder and lightning. Normally I do a thigh slap with that, but the table's blocking. We stripped weight out from using 3 webbing pieces to 2, and that also allowed us to really work on weight distribution through the waist. We also lightened up gear loops. First and foremost, we decided to go with the gear loops along the bottom so as to not interfere if you're climbing with a pack. We wanted to go with a molded gear loop and a softer gear loop. The front gear loops for easier racking, and then the back gear loops just for gear that's most likely gonna just stay kind of on your rack, or you won't have to really get to it until you're at a belay station. We're using a smaller, thinner belay loop. It's the Infinity Loop again that you'll see throughout our harness line on our other harnesses. This is a definite 3-season designed for pure rock climbing. Our first harness with no ice clipper slots. We did use a material for the body of the harness that was a little more durable, so it could hold up to chimneys and some rougher granite conditions for trad. with this harness being 285 grams, so it's still super light for sport. This particular Belay Loop far exceeds the CE testing and the weight requirement. The materials that go into this are, one, super strong, and two, they're a little bit smaller than what the normal materials are. So that's where we can get the smaller Belay Loop. And the Infinity process makes that Belay Loop just that much stronger because there's no break in the strand. We went for fixed leg loops. We do have an adjustable one on the way, so stay tuned. But we wanted to really make this, the true 3-season harness with the fixed leg loop, just comfort driven. It does have the elastic in it, so you do have a lot of room for expansion. But yeah, the weight savings on this, and this also being driven to be a 3-season harness, is why we decided to go with the fixed leg. And we just really tried to add touches to where we could lighten things up. Just all added up and became the Cuesta.